Hello everybody, the Lawn Gnome is here, and Charlie Sheen is still out of his gourd. I got my first subscriber, I got my first thumbs up, I got my first comments, and I've got 10 friends now on YouTube. I'm so excited, and if there's one thing that brings out into the open, it's inspiration, so I thought that today would be a great day to make a new video. So what are we going to talk about today? I want to take a step to the side from film, even though the topic does have a little bit to do with film. I want to talk about movie soundtracks, two in particular. They were official soundtracks from films that came out at the end of 2010, critically acclaimed, and I just want to talk about how great they are and why. So, let's go. The first one I want to bring to the table is the Social Network soundtrack. This is an Oscar winner. That just shows you how great it is. It was done by Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross. If you don't know who they are, Trent Reznor is pretty much the guy that created the band 9 Inch Nails, and Atticus Ross is the guy who fronts How to Destroy Angels. Two metal bands. Industrial metal bands. How amazing is that? Heavy metal artists have finally become Oscar winners. Makes you think, doesn't it? But again, why is this soundtrack so great? It's because of the fact that it's stepped aside from the classical orchestra sound that a film soundtrack normally has. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm a music nut, and I love everything about music, artists and whatnot, and I love classical as well. But these two guys took their own signature sound, which is the synthesizer, sound mixing board, and piano, and gave us one hell of a masterpiece for the Social Network, alongside a great acting cast, a great director, David Fincher, and screenwriter Aaron Sorkin. This just makes the movie flow. And the soundtrack, too. What I love so much about this soundtrack is there's no dead space. Each song just flows into the other and just gives you a complete experience. I think that's the right word. This is a revolutionary soundtrack, and it has some emotional slow songs, it has some toe tappers, and it also does have some songs that outshine others. Probably the best song in this one is the In the Hall of the Mountain King rendition that these two artists did. The classical Edvard Grieg, or Greg sound, the composer, and they don't ruin it. They just put their own industrial spin while keeping the classical sound and the classical elements intact in the soundtrack. So, yeah, definitely give it a listen if you want to try something new and completely different. The second one I want to bring to the table, the Tron Legacy soundtrack. Now, Tron Legacy soundtrack was done and fully orchestrated by the band known as Daft Punk. Now, Daft Punk is one of the biggest names in the dance and techno pop scene. And unfortunately, this didn't get as much credit from the critics as the Social Network soundtrack did. And yeah, the movie wasn't so great. Even though I'm a big Jeff Bridges fan, I love the original Tron, the soundtrack just drove this movie and kicked it into high gear. It's an amazing blend of classical and techno, and each track is amazing. It really gives you tingles. I can't deny that. It really sends chills down your spine because of the sound and the difference that it is and the originality about the soundtrack. It's really, really good. And how good is it? It took me 3 trips to 3 different Targets to actually find this album for a decent price. So it's definitely worth the money. So these two soundtracks as a whole are pretty much sending a message to how films are going to be scored in the future. I definitely think that there's going to be more of this sound being brought to the table to put a more modern spin, while still keeping the classical mood and way of film orchestra scoring going. And that made no sense whatsoever, and I'm not going to outtake it because I think it's funny. So, that's it. Definitely pick these 2 albums up, or at least hear them if you want to hear something great and exciting and new. And yeah, so thanks for listening, and please, subscribe, comment. I'd love to hear your feedback. And the question that I want to leave with you, my new friends, and hopefully some brand new subscribers, is, what is your favorite film soundtrack and why? Also, I want to take a little page out of Cheeb's book and I'm curious to know if you guys would like me to do a profile video, give you a little understanding of who I am, what my interests are, and maybe, you know, if there's commonalities that we share, we could do some collaborations, some videos for your fans. I'd love to keep spreading the word on you guys and making you guys just as popular and even more popular as you are now. So please, let's get up on that. Let's get working. Let's get some business done here. So those are my questions. Again, thank you so much for watching. Please comment, please subscribe to Cheeb's channel, and remember, actions speak louder than words.